Welcome to the Star Citizen 3.14 Thrustmaster T-16000 installation video. In order to get started, you'll need to download the profile in the link in the description. Now that you've downloaded the profile, go ahead and double click on it. And there's a few files in here that we're going to want to work with and move around for later use. The first one is the .fcf. Go ahead, right click and copy that. And you're going to want a folder that you're going to be able to remember. So go ahead and make yourself a folder. I've made one on my desktop and go ahead and paste it into there. Next, you're going to need to take the .xml and copy it and put it into your default Star Citizen folder. For me, this is my C drive, program files, Roberts Space Industries, Star Citizen, Live, Users, Client, 0, Controls, and finally Mappings. The next file we're going to take a look at is the profile map. The profile map is a nice color-coded design that makes it easy to learn and use. For more information on the profile design, I suggest you check out the profile design video here. The last file is the profile installation. This file has all the information you need to install the profile. Next for the video, we need to scroll down to page 12. And this will have all of the button numbers for reference. And we do need to assign a couple of them in-game because there's some conflict issues that I don't know how to resolve at this time. The installation guide also has tips and troubleshooting on page 9. On the first page of the installation guide, there is a link for the Target software which you'll need to download. Go ahead and click on the link. Scroll down to where it says Software, expand the link, and then scroll down to the bottom where it says Software and Download. Once you've downloaded the Target software, go ahead and double click on it and install it. Once installed, you should see an icon on your desktop that says Target GUI or GUI. Go ahead and double click that. Once it opens, go ahead and run the configuration. This should be the .fcf file that you stored. In this case, again, it was on my desktop in a separate folder. Click on the .fcf. You should hear that clicking sound and you should see where it says main returned 0. Once you see main returned 0, go ahead and click on the event tester. We're going to use the event tester to make sure that the profile is working, and go ahead and click on some buttons on both the stick and the throttle. As long as you see a press and release on both the stick and throttle, you can go ahead and close this box and you can launch Star Citizen. Once in Star Citizen, you'll need to open the command prompt by pressing the tilde key, usually located above the tab key. Once the command prompt is open, you'll need to type in exactly as follows: pp_rebind keys, and then a space, layout, underscore, and the name of the .xml that you downloaded for your version. The version number may be different than you see in this video. Once you have typed it in, go ahead and hit enter, and you should see where it says enjoy at the end. If you do not see this, it's possible you didn't put the .xml in the right folder, or maybe you made a typo. Once complete, go ahead and hit the tilde key again, and then let's go on down into the options. Once in options, we'll go ahead and click on key bindings, and then we're going to go down to the bottom right and make sure we go to joystick HOTAS. Then on the left, we're going to click Advanced Customization Controls. Then we're going to go to Control Profiles, and we're going to clear all device bindings. Now this is a little bit tricky in that we're only going to do this for the joystick. We do not want to touch the keyboard, mouse, or gamepad. So left click and then select joystick. For the second one, you're going to left click, slide down to joystick, and then scroll wheel down to where it says 1. And then for the third one, scroll wheel down until it says 2. Don't worry about it if you don't have this many or if you have extra. We just need something in the slot to clear out the profile. Once you've done that, click Load. For Star Citizen 3.14, not all of the bindings are removed by this process. You'll need to go into each one of these tabs and remove any bindings that remain, or they will cause a conflict and the profile will not work as intended. The first place we're going to go is to Flight View. Scroll down to Dynamic Zoom In and Out Relative, and you're going to need to double click this, and then we'll bind it to the yellow paddle you see here. Now we're going to go into Flight Movement. Here, the first thing we're going to bind is Pitch. Double click it and push your joystick forward. With yaw, we have a couple of things to talk about. Number one, the decision to use yaw on your stick or pedals, should you have them, is a personal choice. On the T-16000, we have an additional option where there is twist on the stick. So you have both a forward, back, left and right roll, and a twist option. If you choose to use yaw on your twist, you'll want to bind that now. If you choose to use pedals, you want to bind yaw to your pedals. I fly modern combat fighters. I have both a set of rudder pedals I use for yaw, and my joystick does not twist. Next, you want to double click roll and bind your roll axis, typically again to the left and right of your joystick. Next, we need to go down to throttle forward. Go ahead and double click this and push your throttle forward. And now bind strafe up and down and left and right to the axis you see here in pink. Now go to vehicle scanning and bind the button you see here in orange to activate scanning. Under flight radar, bind the button you see here in orange to activate ping. Next, we're going to go to flight weapons. We're actually going to bind the same two buttons that we did to scanning and scanning radar ping as we do here. Go ahead and bind fire group 1 to this button and go ahead and click yes for OK, as we know that they are also bound to scanning mode. Go ahead and bind fire group number 2 to this button here. Although these are assigned to both scanning and a fire group, the fire group will work when you're not in scanning mode, and the scanning features will only work when you're in scanning mode. Next, we're going to go to flight missiles. We're actually going to bind the same button to both acquire missile lock and to launch missile. Star Citizen's default axis settings are odd and sometimes counter to the direction you think they should go. For example, if you push forward on the throttle, it'll actually send you backwards. To fix this, we need to go into the Controls tab. Go down to the bottom right and make sure you're on joystick HOTAS. Then we'll go back up to the top left and we're going to expand the inversion settings. We'll go into flight and then we'll go into flight movement. Under flight movement, you need to change yes on flight strafe up and down because it is also backwards. We'll need to also click yes on flight strafe forward, as this is actually for your throttle. Now under just the flight column, you're going to see where it says dynamic zoom relative. We also want to change this to yes. This completes the basic installation for the profile. You will want to look on page 9 and 10 in the installation guide. On the tips in this section, you'll find two things that I suggest you take a look at. One is going into options. Under game settings, scroll down until you find proximity assist. I would turn this off. I will link a video here and then a description as to why. You're now ready to fly, and I hope you enjoy your time in the universe. Please leave feedback and comments in the description below.